While the global media remains hyper-focused on the traditional flashpoints of geopolitics, the plains of Eastern Europe, the crowded waters of the Taiwan Strait, and the volatile borders of the Middle East, the world's most dangerous geopolitical shift is happening in absolute silence. It is unfolding at the roof of the world, in a frozen desert where temperatures drop below -50 degrees. This is the Arctic, and a silent, multinational siege has officially begun. For centuries, the Arctic Ocean was treated as a geographic dead end. It was an impenetrable shield of ice that isolated superpowers and protected national borders through sheer brutality. But the planet is changing. The polar ice caps are melting at an unprecedented rate, and as the white ice vanishes, it is revealing a prize so massive that it is forcing the world's three greatest nuclear powers into a direct, unavoidable collision course. In Moscow, Vladimir Putin has declared the Arctic as Russia's primary strategic priority for the 21st century. The Kremlin has spent the last decade lining thousands of miles of freezing coastline with advanced military outposts and radar arrays. In Washington, after nearly 30 years of strategic neglect, the Pentagon has finally sounded the alarm. The US Navy is quietly redeploying its most advanced nuclear attack submarines to patrol these freezing depths. But the true wild card in this frozen theater is Beijing. Despite not possessing a single square inch of territory above the Arctic Circle, China has formally declared itself a near-Arctic state, entering this high-stakes arena with a calculated, multi-billion-dollar economic encirclement. This is not a hypothetical future crisis. The battle for control is happening right now. Who will master the world's most brutal, yet most lucrative frontier? The Kremlin's heavily armored nuclear icebreakers, the White House's underwater naval stealth, or Beijing's endless flood of capital? Welcome to the final frontier of global power. To understand why these nations are willing to risk a direct confrontation over a frozen wasteland, we have to look beneath the surface. The melting of the Arctic ice is triggering two simultaneous revolutions, one in global logistics and one in global resource wealth. Let us begin with the trade map. For over a century, global maritime trade between Asia and Europe has relied almost entirely on the Suez Canal. It is a long, vulnerable route, prone to regional instability, piracy, and dangerous choke points. A standard cargo ship traveling from Shanghai to Rotterdam via the Suez takes roughly 35 days. However, as the polar ice melts, a new pathway emerges, the Northern Sea Route, stretching across the top of Russia. Traveling this Arctic path slashes the journey down to just 20 days. A 40% reduction in transit time means saving billions of dollars in fuel, labor, and shipping costs annually. It completely rewrites the global supply chain, shifting the center of gravity away from Western-controlled waters straight to the frozen north. But the real jackpot lies buried under the seabed. According to comprehensive assessments by the United States Geological Survey, the Arctic holds an estimated 22% of the world's undiscovered, technically recoverable oil and natural gas resources. To be precise, it contains roughly 90 billion barrels of oil and over 1,600 trillion cubic feet of natural gas. When you add the massive, untouched deposits of platinum, gold, nickel, and rare earth minerals critical for modern technology, the total economic valuation of the Arctic easily exceeds $100 trillion. In an era where resource scarcity is defining national survival, no superpower can afford to leave this table empty-handed. In this multi-trillion-dollar race, one nation has a massive, terrifying head start. For Russia, the Arctic is not a secondary theater. It is the ultimate economic life raft and a military fortress. Russia claims nearly half of the entire Arctic coastline, and Vladimir Putin is determined to turn that geography into an absolute monopoly. Over the past 10 years, while the West was distracted elsewhere, Moscow quietly launched the largest military buildup in the region since the height of the Cold War. The Russian military has opened or modernized over 50 abandoned Soviet-era military bases, airfields, and deep-water ports. These are not mere weather stations. Bases like the Trefoil on Alexandra Land are fully autonomous, high-tech fortresses, capable of housing hundreds of soldiers for over a year without external resupply. They are bristling with sophisticated S-400 air defense systems, coastal anti-ship missile batteries, and electronic warfare units designed to blind, not satellites. However, Russia's ultimate weapon in the Arctic is not its missile inventory. It is its undisputed monopoly on ice-breaking technology. Moving through the Arctic requires heavy, specialized ships to clear the path. The United States currently possesses only 2 operational icebreakers, both of which are aging and constantly breaking down. Russia, on the other hand, operates a fleet of over 40 icebreakers, including the world's only nuclear-powered fleet. Heavy combat icebreakers like the Arctica class are massive engineering marvels powered by twin nuclear reactors. They can smash through ice up to 3 meters thick at continuous speed, allowing the Russian Navy and commercial fleets to operate in conditions that would instantly trap and destroy any Western vessel. Through this heavy iron, Moscow has effectively turned the Northern Sea Route into a private toll road, demanding that foreign nations request Russian permission and hire Russian navigators just to pass through. For decades, Washington treated the Arctic with complacency. The prevailing theory was that the region was too cold, too remote, and too hostile to matter. That strategic illusion has shattered. The Pentagon has suddenly realized that its northern flank is completely exposed to Russian hypersonic missiles and strategic bombers. In response, the United States, along with its NATO allies, have begun rushing resources to the north. Since the US lacks the icebreakers to compete on the surface, the Pentagon is playing to its ultimate strength: underwater stealth. The US Navy has quietly increased the deployment of its fast-attack nuclear submarines beneath the ice cap, playing a dangerous game of hide-and-seek with Russian forces. But as the US and Russia eye each other through periscopes, a third giant has stepped onto the ice: China. Geographically, China has no claim to the Arctic. Yet in 2018, the Chinese Communist Party released an official white paper boldly declaring China as a near-Arctic state. Beijing understands that it cannot claim physical territory, so it is using its ultimate weapon: overwhelming financial capital. Western sanctions forced Russia into China's multi-billion-dollar embrace, birthing the Polar Silk Road. This strategic alliance has officially transformed the Arctic into the world's most dangerous nuclear powder keg. Beneath the dark, frozen waves, American, Russian, and Chinese nuclear submarines are constantly tracking each other. With zero margin for error, a single misunderstood sonar ping could trigger a catastrophic global war. The Arctic siege has begun. So, who will ultimately control this frozen frontier? Russian brute force, America's advanced submarine stealth, or China's trillion-dollar financial grip? Drop your detailed thoughts in the comments section below. If you appreciate unfiltered geopolitical deconstructions, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.